Zara Bennett stepped out of her silver Tesla, her confident stride catching the morning sunlight. At 42, she commanded respect not just as the mayor's wife, but as the founder of Horizon Foundation, which had transformed education in Westfield County. Her natural hair, styled in a magnificent crown of curls, framed her face like a halo against her rich mahogany skin. "Mrs. Bennett. Do you have a moment?" called Terence, a young journalist from the local paper. Zara smiled warmly. "Always for you, Terence. But quick, please. I'm meeting with the school board in 20 minutes. Her phone buzzed. A text from her husband, Mayor Elijah Bennett, "Knock 'em dead, love. Dinner at 7? She replied with a heart emoji and hurried up the courthouse steps. People nodded respectfully as she passed. Zara had earned their admiration through years of tireless work, fighting for resources in overlooked neighborhoods, creating pathways for youth success, and building bridges between communities when tensions ran high. Little did she know, her next battle would be deeply personal. 2 days later, Zara pushed her cart through Westview Mall, checking items off her list for the community center's youth program launch. The shopping center buzzed with weekend energy, families browsing, teenagers laughing near the food court. "Mrs. Bennett. My daughter got accepted to that summer program." "Thank you," called a woman from the cosmetics counter. Zara waved back, genuinely pleased. She turned down the housewares aisle, examining a set of cooking supplies for the culinary classes. The store's overhead speaker crackled. "Security to housewares, please. Security to housewares." Zara barely registered the announcement until a hand roughly grabbed her shoulder. "Ma'am, I need you to come with me right now," demanded a stern voice. Officer Derek Reid, a stocky man with cold blue eyes and a freshly pressed uniform, stared at her with unmistakable suspicion. "Excuse me?" Zara asked, bewildered. "We have reports of shoplifting." "Empty your pockets and bag," he ordered loudly, drawing stares. "Officer, there must be some mistake. I'm Zara Bennett, I don't care who you claim to be. We have footage of someone matching your description stealing jewelry from Pearson's." His hand moved to his weapon. "Turn around, hands against the shelf." "This is ridiculous. I haven't been near Pearson's today." People gathered, phones recording. Officer Reid's partner, a younger officer named Lopez, approached cautiously. "Reid, maybe we should." "I've got this," Reid snapped, pulling out handcuffs. "Last warning. Turn around now." Zara's heart hammered against her ribs as she realized this situation was spiraling dangerously out of control. "I have rights," Zara stated firmly, though her voice quavered slightly. "I demand to see this supposed footage." Officer Reid's face darkened. "Resisting an officer? That's enough." In one swift motion, he grabbed Zara's wrist, twisting it behind her back. "You're hurting me," she gasped. The crowd grew larger. Whispers rippled through the onlookers. "That's the mayor's wife. Someone call Elijah Bennett." Reid sneered. "Sure she is. And I'm the president." Without warning, he reached for Zara's hair, gripping a fistful of her curls. "Where's the jewelry?" "Hidden in here." Before anyone could intervene, he pulled out scissors from his utility belt and hacked off a large section of her hair. Gasps erupted from the crowd. Phones recorded everything. Zara felt the weight of her severed curls falling, tears springing to her eyes, not from physical pain, but from the searing humiliation. "Officer Reid. Stand down immediately." Officer Lopez shouted, horrified. But Reid was already forcing Zara to her knees, handcuffing her as mall security arrived breathless to the scene. "Zara Bennett, you're under arrest for theft and resisting an officer," Reid announced triumphantly, dragging her to her feet. Through tears, Zara lifted her chin, looking directly into the camera phones. "Someone call my husband. Now." Mayor Elijah Bennett was mid-sentence during the city council meeting when his chief of staff burst through the doors, face ashen. "Mr. Mayor, urgent situation," she whispered, showing him her phone. The live stream footage showed his wife kneeling on the mall floor, hair brutally chopped, face streaked with tears. "Meeting adjourned," Elijah announced, voice deadly calm as he stood. Councilman Patel touched his arm. "Elijah, someone assaulted my wife," he replied, already striding toward the exit. At Westview Mall. An officer named Reid. In the mayoral car, Elijah's knuckles turned white gripping his phone. "Get me Police Chief Washington. Now." "Already on it, sir," his driver replied. "The chief says they're taking Mrs. Bennett to Central Precinct." "No," Elijah said firmly. "They will release her immediately. And have Officer Reid suspended pending investigation." Through the speakerphone came Chief Washington's grave voice, "Already done, Mr. Mayor." "And Elijah? This isn't Reid's first incident." Elijah closed his eyes briefly. "Then it will be his last." By nightfall, the video had gone viral. Zara sat in her living room, a silk scarf wrapped around what remained of her hair, surrounded by family and close advisors. 12 million views, said Tanya, Zara's assistant, looking up from her tablet. "Your statement?" "We press charges," Elijah insisted, pacing. "Full extent of the law." Zara shook her head slowly. "No. We demand systemic change." Their doorbell rang continuously as community members arrived, first dozens, then hundreds gathering on their lawn. Pastor Williams, Ms. Green from the Teachers Union, students from Zara's mentorship program. When Zara stepped onto the porch, the crowd fell silent. "Thank you for coming," she began, voice stronger than she felt. "Today, I experienced what too many have endured in silence." Someone shouted, "We stand with you, Zara." Marcus Johnson, whose son had been wrongfully arrested last year, stepped forward. "Mrs. Bennett, we've organized legal support for anyone who's experienced similar treatment. Your incident has given people courage to come forward." Zara nodded, tears welling. "Then some good can come from this." By morning, over 500 testimonials flooded the special hotline. Local business owners offered security footage showing Officer Reid's previous harassments. 3 judges volunteered to review past arrests. "They thought hurting you would silence us," Elijah said, taking her hand. "Instead, they awakened a movement." The police department's internal affairs conference room was silent as Detective Amara Jackson laid out the evidence. "Officer Derek Reid has 27 complaints filed against him over 8 years, she stated, placing photographs on the table. 93% against people of color. Chief Washington rubbed his temples. "How did he slip through the cracks?" "He didn't slip," Detective Jackson replied sharply. "His previous supervisor, Lieutenant Graves, buried the complaints. We found them in encrypted files on Graves' personal server." The projector displayed bodycam footage showing Reid stopping a black teenager for suspicious behavior, simply walking home from basketball practice. His bodycam mysteriously malfunctioned during 6 separate incidents, Jackson continued. "But we recovered security footage from nearby businesses. The most damning evidence came from Reid's own text messages. Look at this exchange with Officer Peterson from last month," Jackson pointed. Quote, "Got another one today. These people need to learn their place." Chief Washington stood, face grave. "Criminal charges?" "The DA recommends multiple counts of assault, false arrest, civil rights violations, and evidence tampering," Jackson confirmed. "Lieutenant Graves will face conspiracy charges." A knock at the door. Zara Bennett entered, now wearing her hair in a short, elegant style. "Mrs. Bennett," Chief Washington acknowledged. "I believe you requested to see the evidence personally." Zara nodded. "I needed to know if my case was isolated." Clearly, it was not. The courthouse buzzed with tension. News vans lined the street as Zara walked up the steps, Elijah by her side. Inside, the hearing room fell silent as they entered. Officer Reid sat at the defense table, his attorney whispering urgently in his ear. When Reid spotted Zara, his face hardened. Judge Rosario called the room to order. "We're here for the preliminary hearing of Derek Reid on multiple charges." When it was Zara's turn to speak, she approached the stand with measured steps. "Mrs. Bennett, please recount the events at Westview Mall," the prosecutor requested. Zara spoke clearly, her testimony unwavering. As she described the humiliation, the courtroom remained eerily quiet. "And had you ever encountered Officer Reid before that day?" the prosecutor asked. "No," Zara replied. "But as we've discovered, many in our community had." Reid's attorney objected. "Speculation, Your Honor." Sustained, Judge Rosario ruled. When cross-examination began, Reid's attorney tried intimidation tactics. "Isn't it true you used your husband's position to escalate this incident?" Zara leaned forward. "No. I used my citizens' rights to challenge an abuse of power." Reid suddenly stood, pointing at Zara. "You people always play the victim." The courtroom erupted as Judge Rosario banged her gavel. "Officer Reid, sit down." Reid's outburst had revealed his true character more clearly than any testimony could point. 6 months later, Zara stood at the podium in City Hall Plaza, surrounded by citizens, politicians, and police officers alike. "Today, we witness not just justice for one incident, but transformation of an entire system," she announced. Behind her, Mayor Bennett signed the Accountability in Policing Act, requiring body cameras to remain operational during all civilian interactions, establishing an independent review board, and mandating comprehensive bias training. Former Officer Reid had been sentenced to 5 years for multiple civil rights violations. Lieutenant Graves received 3 years for conspiracy and evidence tampering. "This journey began with humiliation," Zara continued, touching her now regrown hair. "But it ends with hope. 26 wrongful convictions overturned. 53 officers across the state undergoing retraining. And a community finding its voice." Chief Washington approached the microphone. "The badge means protecting everyone. Period. We failed before. We won't fail again." As the crowd applauded, Zara caught the eye of a young black girl watching attentively. "Remember," Zara said directly to her, "your dignity is non-negotiable. Your justice matters."